right, and welcome back, everyone. Lovely to see you all, as always. Let's begin by going straight into the superpower state. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And go into your superpower state however you normally do that. So using your word or phrase or your anchor, or by focusing in on everything you love about your subject. Very good. And allow that light, that energy to shine out from you. Feel that expansion feeling in your chest, that opening feeling in your heart. Allowing that light to shine. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to go spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Good job. And allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each little cell just for existing. And imagining that each of those cells is able to produce the same light, same energy itself. And feel that two-way flow of unconditional love between you and your cells. You loving them and them loving you no matter what. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill yourself as a child, any age. Imagine that little you being filled with this beautiful light. And love that little you just for existing. No judgment, no expectations. Exactly as you are. And then imagine that light or energy overflowing from that little you and shining through your whole childhood. So shining that light into any darkness, filling everything, everyone, every experience, every event, every circumstance, loving it all anyway. That's where the power is. And really becoming aware of the physical sensation of this feeling of power, this feeling of love. Noticing how it's represented in your body and allowing it. And then allowing that light or energy to fill everyone who's on the call today. All those who are on camera, all those who are off camera today, loving each one just for existing. Good job. All right, you can open your eyes if you haven't closed. And let's check in with each person, find out how you're all doing. So, Tina, you're first up on my screen. How are you today?
Good morning. I don't know. My favorite words. I don't know.
Okay.
It's weird because when we did this exercise just right now, I was feeling like double love.
Good.
And hopeless because I just experienced something.
Okay.
I don't work like you see. I'm gonna be part-time now.
Mm-hmm.
There is no much job. And my boss today, she wanted to help me to fill out the form for like help from government, like they're gonna give me some money to fill in like a little bit what I'm losing because I don't have much hours. So I supposed to register to that CRB, whatever it's called. And I tried this morning, like I didn't understand her even yesterday what she was telling me. But anyway, I opened the page and I wanted to just register myself. And I give them everything correct, what I think. and they constantly telling me the page is error. And they said if 5 times, if I do error, they're gonna just discontinue this, whatever. It's like permanently or something like this.
Yeah.
So I click 3 times. I have 2 more.
Okay.
And I just stop and I feel like, okay, awesome. As usually, computer and me, we don't work, doesn't go along. And I feel like hopeless. I don't know. Now I want to cry. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yes.
But anyway, what I want to say, like when we did that exercise just right now, I was feeling my stomach, everything.
Okay.
Like that negative part of me and the positive. And I feel like, okay, what is the positive? Like you said, it's okay, it's my heart, and my stomach is the negative. It's like crazy. I don't know.
Right. Okay. So good. So first of all, well done for recognizing that. And well done for being here. That is the most important thing, is that you turned up today. So very, very good, because if a person doesn't come, then we can't help. But since you're here, we can help. Okay. So couple of points here. So the first thing is you found out yesterday that that this was happening. Is that right? That your hours would be cut.
Yeah, my boss called me yesterday and she told me I'm gonna be part-time, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh. So I don't have to go to work each day for 2-3 hours. Yeah. Just will be 3 days. And she says she's keeping me because I have lots of requests. Because other people, she just let them go, some of them.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, that's awesome. I have lots of requests. I'm happy about it.
All right. So now let's look at this. So when she told you this, that your hours are going to be cut, but she's keeping you on, and you know, all of that, what emotions were there when she told you that?
Of course, the happy one, right?
Good. All right. So that's all good. So now when you think of, so yesterday, when you thought of the applying for the help, the financial help, what happened inside you when you just thought about doing it? Like, okay, so I have to do that.
I was like really grateful because I didn't know about it, and she really take care of everybody.
That's
so, and she told me she's gonna call me 10 o'clock today, so she's gonna help me to fill in the form.
Fantastic.
And this morning when we talked, she said, I told you yesterday to prepare everything to register, but I even didn't hear. I have no idea if she said that. Okay. But I tried to register right now, and I just can't. I don't know what they want. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. And it's like,
all right,
I'm not gonna apply. I'm just gonna, as usually, I can do it.
That's where it is. Okay, so there's different ways of experiencing this situation. And so the first way is, that's typical. That always happens for me and the computer. We don't, I just can't do it. So I won't bother. Fine, I won't bother. Now, what that does is it doesn't fix anything. It doesn't, and all it does is it's like you're hitting yourself over the head. Well, then you can't have it, right? It's not actually getting you anything, right? And it's certainly not going to make the computer go, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Let's, I'll do it.
Right. I know, the computer doesn't talk.
Yeah. So it's not, that's not going to help, and it's not going to change anything. All that will do is put you in a struggling situation. So let's look at the options. So as you say, you've only got 2 more goes before it stops, right? So who can you reach out to help you with this?
I have no idea. There is set like click help, but there is no help, you see.
So when you click help, what happens?
There is no help.
What do you mean there is no help? So you click help and then?
No, they said, if you need help, click help. So I go back to the page and there is no help.
Okay, all right. So what about reaching out to your boss?
I text her and I just told her what's happened, and I just thank her for time, and I just leave it as is. I don't want to bother. I don't want to do it.
Oh, okay. So there's a couple of different bits there. So you definitely don't want to say, I'm not going to do it, because you still want to do it, right?
Maybe there is a chance I can apply, but by myself, I don't know. There are simple rubrics. I give them the numbers and it's error. Like, I don't know.
So there's something, so maybe it's something to do with the website, or maybe there's something that's it's not reading correctly, or you've got the wrong thing, and that's okay. This is such an important piece. So thank you for sharing this, because when we can't do something, or when something seems to be not working for us, there's a natural way for many of us is to go, well, and I can't do it. But then we just don't do it, right? Or the other alternative is, okay, so it's not working. So what can I do? Or what options are there? Or let me go away and I'll come back and I'll think of another option. So it's like we reach a barrier in the road and we can either just go, well, then I can't go any further, or we can go, okay, so is there a way over it? Is there a way around it? Can I take a different road? Is there someone else who can help me to move the barrier? So it's about shifting into that. It's what I was talking about yesterday. It's about shifting into that empowered, strategic boss state. It's shifting into that, shifting from, well, I can't, it's not working, to, okay, it's not working, so how can I make it work? Or what other options do I have? But of course, to be able to do that, you need to be in a calm emotional state, because doing that while you're triggered, and I know it well, it's pretty much impossible, because you don't have that part of your brain online. So, and the fact that brought tears means there's definitely a reference for it. Okay, so we need to change that as well. So let's look at, so that feeling of whatever emotions are there from trying to do this and not being able to do it, and you've only got 2 goes left, and whatever's there, can you feel the emotions? Can you feel the sensations in your body? First of all, can you feel them?
Not now, but when I was doing exercise, I was feeling them.
Yes. So can you remember it?
Yes, I remember.
Okay, very good, Tina. Good job, sweetheart. And of course, the reason it's tricky now is because while you were doing the exercise, you were putting feel-good chemicals into your system, bringing down the stress chemicals. So there was that change over there. So, so I want you to think right now, what are you going to do after this call? What are your options regarding this topic?
I'm going to try to look for a number I can call.
Good, good.
But from my experience in the past, nobody picked up the phone nowhere.
Okay. Have you called that number before and they haven't picked up?
No, before, when I was unemployment, when they closed completely the spa, I tried to call many different numbers. Nobody picked up.
Okay. So now there's 2 things there. Number 1, you are a different person now to the person you were before. Okay. And that's for everyone. Everyone who's been following along with these videos, whatever you do now, you are a different person. Your brain is physically different to the way it was when the last time you did these things, whether you spoke to someone or you picked up the phone or you tried to achieve something. So that's very important to bear in mind, because you are not necessarily going to get the same results as you got before, because you're a different person. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, if you haven't called this particular number before, how do you know they're not going to answer? Maybe they will.
Yeah, I will call for sure. I will call. I will search around what I can do. But
before you do, that's the thing. So do you see the difference there? So, and this is very important, because as you go, I will call around, but I know they're not going to answer, or in the past they've never answered, or there's nothing I can do. What you're doing right then is you're turning your wheel, you're turning the wheel of your car and heading towards where you don't want to go.
Now came to my mind my mother. Wherever I go for her for help, she never helped me.
There it is. There it is. Good job, Tina. Fantastic.
Awesome job.
That makes perfect sense. So that's how you were programmed not to expect help, because the main person in your life who's supposed to be there for you and help you didn't. Makes perfect sense. I've got goosebumps. Okay. So that's what you need to change that. So you change it to where she is always helpful. So
I
you
did. I work on her many times, but even right now, in the moment, like every time I go for her, she never helped me.
Okay.
Never,
And so what does she do? So let's say the last time you contacted her for help, what did she do? Or how did she
She
respond?
didn't do nothing. She just told me some lies. I know her, and if
She
will
told
be
you lies.
if will be for my sister, yes, she's ready. She's like getting so much energy and will do everything. But if
Yeah.
I want something, no. And I know because I said something, I'm gonna help my sister, and then I say I changed my mind, and that's it. No more like there is huge big story behind that, but I know she was always like that, and even
Yeah.
she still.
So now here's the thing. She's like that. That's her. And that's her programs and who knows what's going on inside her. But inside your own head, you don't have to let that come into your head. You get to choose who lives inside your head and what they do and what they are, what they like.
Yes, so I did work on it, but still is coming the same thing. So like I said, even in now, when I talk to my mother, whatever is going on in our family is the same thing. So it's hard to take out of my head everything.
Well, here, yes, it can be, but you still get to choose. So if I phone somebody I know who is always a certain way, the first thing, I'm not expecting them to be any different. I know that they're like that. So I'm not going to be surprised. I'm
Yeah, I
certainly not going to ask them for help so that they get to say no again,
I'm
right?
sorry, you said not ask for help anymore?
Yeah, I say if I know somebody won't help me, I'm certainly not going to ask them for help so that they can just keep saying no, because that's just that's
Yes.
me setting myself up, right? So if I phone them, it's going to be for just, oh, hi, how you doing? But I'm not. So it's like if somebody's not well in the head and they're always shouting, then you know when you phone them, they're going to be shouting, right? So either you don't phone them if you don't want to deal with the shouting, or you phone them knowing they're going to be shouting. So it's not a big surprise. It's like, oh yeah, there they go again. And it's okay. It's nothing to do with me.
Yes, I exactly did that, but my mother offered me the help, and then she changed her mind. Like,
Oh, okay. All right. And she's done that before.
Maybe I don't know. There is like so much stuff behind.
Okay. So well done. So this thing of she offered you the help and then she changed her mind. And now when you think of your childhood and your mum, what's the first thing that pops into your mind, even if it seems to have nothing to do with it?
Yeah.
What's the first thing?
I mean, like I said, my mom just show up. Just herself. Just I saw my mother, like usually wherever I go for her.
The old memory, your old mother. Hey, your old mother, you know what I mean? Okay, good. So now as you see her in your mind, can you make her do something like smile or dance or jump up and down or?
Yes, I have a memory when she's like always busy because she's this kind of person, so it's fine. But I'm going to her and she just stopped working and she sit with me and she's okay, what is going on? Just she's talking to me and she tried to help me. So I have this picture, I have this memory I create.
Very good. So keep referring to that for a start. Make sure that you keep referring to that. Now, you may need another due justice letter to your mother on this business of not helping. And the fact that she's willing to help your sister, but not you. I would say you probably need a due justice specifically on that topic. Why do you never help me? Why do you help her? What's wrong with, whatever emotions that they get those out because those are holding you back.
I think I did the letter, not specifically on this chat, but generally. Yeah. And the why is a huge, I have I'm thinking so many different things.
Yes. So I would say definitely do a letter on this topic of her not helping you, not being willing to help you. And I would say do that before you take any action.
Okay.
Do that first, get it out, and change the memories before you then move forward with this form, if you can.
Okay.
All right, so that you've changed those references. So you're moving forward with a different set of references. And so you want to end up where your mum is always patient. She always, she's asking, how are you doing? And can I help in any way? And you say, well, yes, I need this. And you don't need to know details. You just need to know that feeling that she's helping you. Now, this brings me to a topic that we were discussing this morning. Something I've realized, I think, that is quite common in a lot of people, is when we create the new memories or we think of something positive, very often we're automatically being cautious about feeling the full feelings. So I think a key piece in all of this work is giving yourself permission and allowing yourself to feel the full feelings. So literally, like someone's offering you a gift and you go, yes, thank you, rather than, okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking, how can I do this? Just, it's like holding me back. Like,
Yeah. And this, I think, is so key for so much, there's so much. And so I used to be very cautious about, because we had it drilled into us to not express too much. Don't be silly, stop being over excited. Don't get overexcited. Don't be so stupid. There'll be tears at bedtime. Stop showing off. There was so much there drilled into us to be very cautious, aware of what others are thinking and seeing, and be quiet or be professional or whatever. And quite a few years ago, my sister and I, it was my sister's idea, as a lot of this is, to give ourselves permission to be those children again, to just be silly and be, yes, why not? Oh, it's funny, it's silly. Just giving yourself permission. Now, the great thing is you don't need to do that in front of people. You don't need to do it publicly, but you need to do it inside yourself. And that's where it starts. And that's the most important thing. And it can start with something as simple as, and I know, Tina, I know you are already on your way with this. I know you've made huge progress with this, where you are allowing yourself to enjoy something fully. And it could be just a scene, like when you go to those national parks. It could be, driving on a trip somewhere. Those are allowing your heart to open a little bit. And then you can do it inside your mind. So when you think, what you're aiming for is that when you think of your childhood and you think of your mum being so kind and compassionate and helpful, that you feel that swelling in your heart and you allow that feeling. And so you allow that feeling of, this is so nice. Does that make sense?
yes.
Good. But if one can't do that, then you may need a due justice to clear whatever's there that's stopping. And so, the questions I offered yesterday, what happens when I try? So I can't, if someone, this is of course speaking to everyone, if you find you can't allow yourself to feel the full expanse, open your arms and your heart to fully enjoy something, then that's okay. Just ask yourself, so what happens when I try to do that? What thoughts come up? What feelings come up? Where does my mind go? And that'll give you clues to what needs to be changed. Because I know Steve pointed out this morning, it's like a child sees a caterpillar. And it's like, look at the caterpillar, look at that. They're fascinated by it. And the parents very often are so busy, they're busy, stressed, and everything. Don't be silly, stop wasting time. It's just a caterpillar. And we want to go back to that child state of, look at that flower. It's a beautiful day today. That kind of thing. And practicing that allows those changes to come. And then it becomes natural and automatic and comfortable, because that's who we really are. Does that help a little bit?
Yes, now remind me when I was on the field and
good
and playing with butterflies and caterpillars, different colors, such a beautiful. This was my favorite good memory before.
Perfect. That's wonderful, Tina. And so practice, bring up those feelings. So remember the field and the caterpillars and the butterflies, and really bring up allow those feelings there, and then go to the new memories and allow yourself to have those same wonderful feelings of your childhood. Put those feelings in your childhood, because that's going to instruct your subconscious as to what you want now. Does that help?
Yes.
Good job,
Thank
you.
you.
I'm so excited for you. So proud of you, Tina. And thank you for being here, sweetheart. Good job, you.
Thank you for doing this all.
You're very welcome. All right. And then to Lisa. Hi, Lisa. How are you today?
Hi there. Wave One Wednesday.
Yay.
Yay. This is from your book with the Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind for Business Success. To make sure I got it right. Okay, so this is in the beginning, and it's all above. It's important and empowering to remember that you are the boss of you, and every moment is a choice, even if it's just a choice of where to put your focus. You decide where your subconscious keeps and what gets changed. You have more power than you may think. It's time to take the control.
Very good. And that, of course, is completely relevant to what I was saying earlier. That's perfect. Thank you, Lisa, so much. And that is true. One of the things you can do is put up a sign or a poster or a Post-it or a thing on your phone, a reminder on your phone that says, I am the boss of me. No matter what is going on, I get to decide whether I look at it or not, or how I see it, or what I'm putting my focus on in the moment. Yeah. So thank you, Lisa. Very good. And along with, of course, yes, which memories I'm going to change.
Yeah. I have a question. So in the beginning, when you started doing this book and all the childhood programming, when did you make the connection with that? And early on, with for you, how did you guys make the connection with that in the beginning?
You mean the connection between what's going on now and childhood, or the connection between the superpower and childhood?
Yeah, that. How did you make the connection with all that? Because it's real fascinating to me.
Okay, so the superpower came first, and that was, I don't know, whenever I wrote that book. It was around that time, I think 2012, something like that. Excuse me. So the superpower book, that describes just the superpower, because that's all I had up until then. And then towards the end of 2015, I found Robert Smith's videos on YouTube for faster EFT, or faster EFT if you're American. And that was the childhood piece. So watching him explain it, that was where I learned about the childhood stuff. And I had gone into the subconscious realm up until then. So I'd done some research already on the brain and the subconscious, and all of that made sense. Now, what I discovered, I found it really quick and easy to change memories. But what I discovered was that it was, when I started working with other people, is that the reason it was so quick and easy for me to change memories was because I was already living in a state of unconditional love. So because that was my natural state, I developed that. Then when I changed a memory, it changed very quickly because I already had that state. So when I started working with other people who didn't have the superpowers bit, I found out how difficult it can be, to actually make those changes, because stress chemicals in the system, not having that power and all of that. So that's when I thought, okay, so we can't do just one. These things go together. And that's when we developed into the Remmert Method, where the superpower, the unconditional love, forms the foundation of what we do. Does that explain it?
Yeah, beautiful.
Very well.
Look how far it's come now.
Indeed,
That's
indeed.
cool.
And of course, it keeps developing, because we keep adding new techniques to help more and more. So yeah, so very good. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
All right, and Sadia. Hi, Sadia.
Hi, Odille.
Hey, sweetie, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you.
Good, very good.
Yeah. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to practice that sentence. It's just chemicals. It's just neurons, and that really made a difference.
Yeah.
And reminding me of the fact that things don't have meaning except the meaning that we give to them.
Right.
So usually, yeah, when I feel triggered, I would like, oh, I need to address that. I need to dwell on it and, find the reference and all this kind of thing. And so yesterday I was triggered a lot and I just said, like, calm down. It's just neuron and chemicals. It only has the meaning that you give it to them. And I'm like, okay, just come back to the present. And that really made a difference.
Oh, well done. Well done, Sadia. I'm so thrilled to hear that. And thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, and there's a tip that Steve shared with me yesterday. So I think that might be useful. Sometimes it's like we create our movies in our head, and like when we have negative thought, we tend to follow them. And he said, like, if you knew that this movie was not going to be good, would you would you go and watch it? And I'm like, yeah. So this morning when I woke up, like each morning I'm like, there is a feeling of guilt and all this kind of thing, and they would come back and I would like, follow the thing. And I'm like, so this morning I woke up, I'm not gonna watch this movie. I'm just gonna focus on something else. So I
Oh,
found that really interesting.
I love that. And I actually haven't heard it that way from Steve yet. So that is fantastic. Thank you for sharing. So yeah, so just to recap for everyone else as well, I love that if you knew, when you have a negative thought, if you went to a movie and you knew the movie was going to be bad, you wouldn't sit through it. You would just leave the theater and go and find another movie that you prefer. And so I love that idea of waking up in the morning and going, yeah, I'm not going to watch that movie. I'm going to watch a nicer movie. I'm going to watch a different movie. Fantastic. And
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that, Sadia.
Thank you to Steve and you.
Indeed.
It's just I'll just add a couple of words. It's a quick little technique that you can use when you catch yourself it in the moment of a negative thought. Um, Especially, I did this for myself when I was working on those feelings of victimhood. So there would be that thought that in it, wow, it's like, oh, that feels real victimy. That I don't want to go there. So instead of what I would normally do in the past, which was like fight it, struggle it, or whatever, I created this little image in my mind. Odile and I have this little movie cinema down the road that we go to, and I could picture us. We we oftentimes go in the middle of the day, or odd times. So there will be times where we often have the entire cinema to ourselves because there's not anybody else there. But I can imagine ourselves in our regular seats, and it's like I can I can see myself getting up and just walking out of the door. And sometimes I even add like police crime scene tape, and I put it over the door as I leave. It's like, nope, we can't go in there anymore. It's like, stop watching that movie. Because once you start to gain the recognition that the thoughts, the feelings, the memories, whatever it is that we're playing, it literally is, can I say literally? I
Yeah.
think that I can say
Well, it depends on what you're following it with.
literally creating that image in our mind, that it doesn't exist anyplace else except on that movie screen in the back of our mind or in our mind. And we're creating that scene, and we're just replaying. We're watching, we're sitting there mesmerized watching that movie, and it's like, nope, I don't have to watch this movie. I can walk out. So it's another way of it's another metaphor, or it's another little technique for shifting your focus.
I love that. Yeah. And we need to go to a movie again. You just reminded me, it's like, I feel like this. All right. Very good.
And
Thank
yeah, and I was going to say what's fantastic about it, and it reminded me that like it's like we are the writer, the producer, the main character. Like we are writing our own stories, like we're all creating that. So if we can create something that we don't want, we can also create some magical, fairy tale.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Thank you so much, Sadia. And it's not always easy. Sometimes it can be difficult.
Yeah.
And I remember my sister and I, we watched a movie called Face Off. I don't know if you've seen it, but don't. It's a really stressful movie. It's a thriller. And I remember this is many years ago, the two of us, it was on TV, and we sat and we were watching it, and it got so frightening. And the two of us were sitting there, and I said to her, switch it off. And she said, no, you switch it off. I said, no, you switch it off. But it was that obsession or that compulsion to continue watching because you wanted to know what happened, but it was not feeling nice. And that happens in our own lives where we're thinking of something horrible, but and it's difficult to take the focus off it because there's that compulsion, and that is the stress chemicals. That's survival. That's don't take your focus off the bear because you'll die. So it takes overriding that and thinking, yeah, no, and looking somewhere else. So as soon as we put our focus on, oh, we could watch, comedy, or actually we didn't do that. We should have done that because we did actually end up watching the whole thing. But and afterwards we're going, oh, we shouldn't have done that. But if you replace it with something else, so have something, your color, your subject, yes. So thank you, Sadia, for sharing that. That was really, really good. Thank you. And Swasti. Hi, Swasti.
Hello.
How are you today?
Scattered.
Scattered, okay.
There's a lot going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like making decisions that I'm regretting.
Oh, okay. Let's look at that.
Yeah. Well, there's just applying to a lot of different things, and then they call you, and then I think, oh my God. So I just got a call like half an hour ago. Well, she said it was gonna be on Friday, but she clearly said something wrong, so it was today. And yeah, and then like every time I look at my email, there's like 5 emails to do this DBS check, to do this, do this, do this. I'm just like, I'm really grateful that I've got all of this, but I do feel like I can't keep up.
Isn't this an amazing example? Okay, so thank you for sharing this, Swasti, and we will address it. So, but first of all, it's that situation of I want this, right?
Yeah.
And especially when that wanting comes from a place of fear. So I'm worried that I won't have, so I'm going to want that, and I want that, and I want that just in case, and I want all of this. So, and it's coming from a place of fear, so we grab as many things as we can, and then we're overwhelmed because we get it, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great example. So so a couple of pieces here. So let's look at. Tell me what you were hoping to get.
Well, I've got everything.
You've got everything you were hoping for?
That I applied for, yeah.
Right. So first of all, well done. And isn't that amazing? Because you weren't, the reason you applied for all of those was because you were expecting to not get them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good job. So first of all, well done you. Number one, well done you. And number two, be sure to really absorb and comprehend that and acknowledge that and appreciate it, that you are better than you think you are.
Yeah, like yesterday I was so scattered that I didn't think about what you were saying, and you said, you broke the pattern with interviews, and I just brushed it off. And then afterwards I was like, oh my God, yes. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So very important to acknowledge and appreciate and congratulate yourself for that and accept that and go, yeah, okay. So I was scared I wouldn't get anything, and now I've got everything. That's pretty amazing. So the fear wasn't warranted. There wasn't anything to worry about. And then once you acknowledge that, then you can come forward to where you are now and apply the same thing. Because whatever you're worried about now, same thing. It's not going to turn out to be, you have more ability. You're better than you think you are. So And sometimes you can't see it because when you're overwhelmed, of course, you've got your prefrontal cortex offline and it's just like,
Yeah, there's a lot of reading. I can't focus. Like,
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of documents and things to read, and I can't. Like, I can only read for 5 minutes, and then I'm stressed, and I have to leave, and then come back.
Yeah. Yes, that makes sense. And so, and you know, I know that feeling of being overwhelmed, having too much to do. So the best thing to do is to number one, do whatever it takes to get into a feel-good state, because you want to bring your prefrontal cortex online, and then organize it in order of priority.
Yeah.
So do you know Trello? Trello, Trello.com. Oh, I think you'll like it.
Yeah. I think I've heard of it, but no, I haven't never seen
Okay,
it.
so, and this is for anybody else who wants to get organized. Trello is one of my favorite things. It's completely free.
Oh yeah, you talked about it, yeah, sometime
Right.
ago, yeah.
So it's free and it's basically a digital to-do list. So it's on a website, so you don't have to download it. It's online, and which means you can access it from anywhere, of course, from your phone, from different devices and all that. And there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube for how to use it effectively. But I use it a lot, and because you can just drag and drop things, prioritize them. You can add labels that are colored for specific priorities. So I've got red labels that say priority for anything that has to be done today, and you can move it so that pick one or two things that you are going to achieve today and get those done first if you can. And then the rest is bonus, the rest is extra. And then what it means is that while you are doing the first thing, that's all you're focused on, because you know that everything else is on the list in its order, and you will get to that. But right now you're going to get this done. And if necessary, break that one thing down to smaller pieces. So, and you can do that in this thing. You open the card and you can put separate action steps or checklists or whatever. So you could say, right, I need to read this piece and I need to fill in that bit and whatever. So that, because the brain, as much as we like to think we are multitaskers, the brain never multitasks. The brain physically cannot multitask. What it does is it switches between things very quickly, and we think we're multitasking. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So, but the more you can bring your focus to the one thing, one step, and see it as one little step at a time, you don't have to worry about the rest. All you have to do is take this one step. And once you've done that one step, then you'll look at the next step. And having those pieces written down, whether it's on paper or on something like Trello, means it's not your brain isn't trying to hold on to things and think, oh, I mustn't forget to do that, and I must do that, and I've got to do that, and what about that? Because it's all there, and you'll get to it. So you've unpacked your brain so that your brain is not trying to cope with all of it. It's not trying to keep those plates spinning.
Okay. Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, I've done that on like the Notes app, but because I can't move things around, yeah,
Right.
I think that would help me. Yeah.
Yeah, this is really, so it's Trello.com, and it's fantastic. I can't sing the praises enough. It really is. There's so much. There's also a lot more you can do with it than I do with it. So there's lots of options, and taking the time to do that is like sharpening the sword, because then you're ready. Then you can take one small step, and when that one's done, you can take one small step again. And you can have, so I have one of the lists, one of the columns says done, boom. And so then you just move it over. When you're done, you drag it over, and that's a very satisfying thing for the brain as well. Of course, you get a dopamine hit every time you do that. So it helps to keep going, and you can make it look nice and all that. So yeah, I highly recommend that.
I think along with these really great practical suggestions, to prioritize things, the other thing to take a look at is what's back there that are the references that are supporting that homeostasis state of feeling overwhelmed, or I can't. It's like you were in earlier, you were in this place of like feeling uncomfortable because there wasn't enough in your life. And
Yeah.
then I believe what's going on is that subconsciously you were attracted to adding all of these things into your life so you could get back into that homeostasis state of feeling overwhelmed and I don't know what to do. So it may be important to take a look at the feeling that's there, the feeling of that you're feeling right now in the present moment, that feeling of it feels overwhelming. I don't know what to do. Be with that feeling. And then let's, then go back and do the detective work to where in childhood was that, and then change it. And then you can incorporate some of what Odille was just talking about, and see your parents or whoever in your life encouraging you and showing you how to deal with everything so that everything feels more organized, and that those feelings of being overwhelmed and out of control and don't know what to do in childhood get replaced with the feeling of where you want to be now. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yeah. I think creating the new memories will bring up old ones because nothing comes to mind right now.
Yes. So that's the good point there. And so for anyone watching, what Swasti's talking about is if you can't find bad memories to change, then just create new memories from scratch that are the way you want them to be. And then very often, any memories that contradict that your subconscious doesn't change on its own, you'll suddenly remember something. And even if it seems unrelated, any memories that come up that are not empowering and wonderful, even if they don't seem to be connected to anything, you might as well change them. They all need to be, any bad memories need to be good anyway. So that's fantastic. So thank you, Steve, for clarifying that. And that's obviously spot on. So do that first, and then that you've got a system to go to. You've got something practical as well. Does that feel good? Does that help?
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah,
Swati.
thank you.
You're very welcome, sweetheart. Very good. All right. So, Steve, any questions in the chat? No? Okay, good. So let's go into the targeting. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And go into your superpower state, however you normally do that. So using your word or phrase or your anchor, or by focusing in on everything you love and appreciate about your subject. Very good. And start to feel your heart opening, that expansion feeling in your chest, allowing that light or energy to shine out. Good job. And then allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very, very good. And fill your subject with that same light, that energy. And then imagine your subject doesn't want to be with you or doesn't have the qualities that you love and appreciate, and keep them filled with that light, that energy anyway. Good job. And then allow that light, that energy to fill Lisa from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. Very good. And allow that light or energy to overflow from Lisa and fill her son and daughter. no matter what, loving them exactly as they are. Good job. And then to the financial situation of everyone, loving that no matter what it is, whether it increases or not, loving it exactly as it is. Very, very good. And now to Sadia. Fill Sadia with this same light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sadia just for existing. Good job. Very good. And now to Tina. Fill Tina with this same light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Tina just for existing. Good job. And now to Swasti. Fill Swasti with this same light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips, love Swasti just for existing. Very, very good. And now to everyone who's off camera today and all those watching the recording, fill all of them with this light, this energy, this love. Loving them just for existing, no judgment, no expectations, no matter what's going on in their lives, loving them anyway. Shining this light into any darkness and loving everything, everyone, every experience, every circumstance, no matter what. Very, very good. And now yourself later today, whatever you'll be experiencing or feeling or doing, love that version of you, no matter what. And surge. Very good. And surge again. Very good. Good job, everybody. All right, you can open your eyes if you like. Or not if you like, I mean if you had them closed. All right, everybody, we will see you again, same time, same place tomorrow. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for the thank you messages. We appreciate them. And do continue to share these videos with those you feel would benefit. And we love you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Should we do a reminder about the subscription page?
Oh yes, so there is a we've set up the subscription page now for starting next week. Just a reminder that there is a founding, I've called it a founding membership. So for founding members, it's just $10 a month. After the 31st of October, so from the 1st of November onwards, it will be $19.99 for everybody else. And the link will be on the page, on the page that you normally go to watch these videos, and we'll start putting it in the description of these videos as well. So on YouTube, if you check the description, the link will be there. All right. And of course, let us know if you have any questions about that. If you aren't going to do the subscription, that's absolutely fine. You will still have complete access to all of these recordings that have been done up until this Friday. We're going to leave those up on the website and on YouTube, so you can watch all of those again even if you watch one a day, as if you're coming here. Of course, you can still reach out to us in our public Facebook group as well. And was that all? I think that was all, wasn't it? Yes. So basically, you've still got those options as well. All right. So lots of love to all of you. Well done. So proud of you. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.